Okay guys, today we have the foals outside for the first time. It's important for their mental health just to get them out a little bit. The other thing is that when you take a little foal outside, and any horse really, they automatically think that they're free and they think they can run away. So it's a great place to work with them and teach them that they're not allowed to just run away. They still have to listen to us no matter where they're at. The other foal is currently tied up. He's learning patience and learning to just stand still. So what I'll end up doing is switching out the foals. So tomorrow he'll be tied up and he can learn patience as well. And obviously I'm tying them with the tie ring so that if they pull back, it'll release and they won't get in an accident or a wreck. Very important for foals to learn that when they're tied up, they need to stand still and relax. One exercise that I really find is a great way to get a better handle on them and a better control of them is to send them back and forth. So what I'll do is I'll pick a road like this and I'll just go ahead and send them and stop them on both sides, obviously. So send them around this way, pull, stop. Okay, and then this way. Pull, stop. Back him up a little bit, he's a bit close. Okay. Stop him, send him back the other way. I like this with roads because it gives me kind of a path to go down. And it gives me a direction to walk. Back up, it's a little too close. You'll notice he's kind of drifting out behind me a lot on this side. So what I can do to try to fix that is try to stop him a bit sooner. And also I can rest him on both sides. So here I'll try to stop him, back him up, and then I'll rest him right there. Just let him relax, let him think about it. And it's also a great time to desensitize him to the stick and string right here while he's standing there. Perfect. Now I can go ahead and bring him back this way. Stop him. See how he automatically backed up there very respectfully, staying out of my space and realizing that he needs to be responsible for where his feet are. That was really good. Okay, send him this way. Stop him. There, he backed up again, just a few steps, but he did it willingly and by himself. So that's very, very good. You can really see how they're progressing through these exercises. Okay, stop him. There, he backed up by himself. That was great. So now I can work on a different exercise and just desensitize him to this side of his body with the stick and string. So I like to do this because it lets me mix it up. I get to do a bunch of different exercises. I get to work on everything all at once, and however it happens, it's a great combination of exercises when you take your foal out on the trail or on a dirt road like this, or in your backyard or whatever. Get them outside of the arena or the pens and start teaching them practical things, and you'll be amazed how much more mentally open they are. So right here I'm using the same exercise almost the whole time to get him to go between me and something else. So he's navigating the different obstacles and thinking about stuff and doing very, very well. Okay, there he's facing his butt towards me. Just encourage him to go past. Okay, we'll take him over this little log here. And he's got to lift his feet up for that. So this is something new he's got to learn. There we go. Send him across it again. He's got very tiny little legs. So that was good. So then right here I can just stroke him on the face, tell him he did a good job. I want to always ask the question, how can I use the environment and what's around me to make it more entertaining for the foal and also make him learn more? So these little areas where there's random trees and sand and everything, he still has to listen to me out here where it's a little more complicated. So this is really good. So now I can work on some different exercises. I have this little opening right here. I can ask him to go in a circle. Just lunge him here in the middle of this little opening with these trees and everything, and there's grass and there's sand, and it's a big spot of open ground where I can just do one of my exercises, and all of a sudden it's way funner than it was in the arena or in the pens. Good job. Making sure that he backs away from me, doesn't crowd me when I'm doing these exercises is very important, so that he respects my space and stays at a good distance from me. Now I'll change directions with him. That's good. That's really good. Change directions with him again. Stop him. Have him back up a little bit. There we go. A couple steps. And now I can desensitize him to the rope on his body. So we're running through all the exercises. And all the while we're out here just kind of going around things and through things, and it's so much funner for them. It really, you have to keep it, you have to mix it up. If I was to spend every single day in the pens, then there would come a point where he's not listening anymore because he's just fed up, he's just tired of being in there. And it's very important to, once you have a good handle of them, work with them outside. So I want to use this tree here to be the object I send in between me and. So you see how he ran into it there? So he just has to be a bit more aware of where I'm asking him to be. There he kind of was about to run into the tree, but he stopped. See how he needs to get used to going through there and not spooking at me holding my hands a little bit higher. That was good. Stop him, back him up because he's very close to me. Okay. So the way you get them to back up in a straight line is you move their hindquarters the opposite way that they're moving it. So see how he's almost completely turned towards me? So I'll just tap his butt and say, get your butt straight. Now we'll try it again. Stop him, back him up, back him up. See how his butt's going that way? So I'll come over here and say, move your butt the other way. Thank you, that's good. Now I'll back him up again. Okay, and if he moves his butt this way, I'll back him, say, hey, move your butt away from there. The other way you can do it is just back them up along a fence, and then their butt will hit a fence. That was a really good straight back up right there. So yesterday we worked a lot on leg handling and on getting him used to the rope being around his butt and things like that because he was kicking out a lot. So today we'll just go ahead and review that. Remind him about how when there's something back here he shouldn't get upset or get nervous. He should just relax, especially when it's pulling on him and things like this. See there how he wants to react to it, so I'll just hold it. Okay, and then the other thing I can do is use the rope around his belly like we did yesterday and get him to remind him that he's not supposed to react to that he can feel something around his belly. And he's probably going to kick out to it again like he did yesterday, but it's important to get him used to this. Okay, so he kicked out a little bit, but now he's realized that, you know what, it's not as bad as it was yesterday. There he got a little upset and kind of pinned his ears and said, hey, this is uncomfy, I don't like this. But this is important to get him used to this kind of thing. not that we're trying to be mean with them, but you see how he's pinning his ears and he says, don't touch me there. He's trying to bite me now. So just sticking with him and telling him, hey, I can mess with you, I can grab on you. And as if I'm gonna cut his hooves or trim his hooves, just get over here and touch him on his butt, let him know this isn't a bad thing, this is not gonna hurt him. He's supposed to be respectful and let me do things to him and let me handle him. So that's really good. Now I can let his hoof go, stroke him on the butt and tell him, good boy. This is not a negative thing to be stroked on the butt. And you can watch their ears, because their ears will tell you a lot about what they're thinking and what they're feeling. Like yesterday, right before he kicked out at me, he pinned his ears. And I didn't have much time, but if I'd have been paying attention to his ears, I would have seen it coming a little bit quicker. Some horses will give you lots of warning and some horses will give you no warning, and you just have to kind of try your best to figure out what each horse is going to do. So I got a hold of this leg now, and I'm going to pick it up, stroke his butt from both sides. When you have a hold of their leg like this, it's harder for them to kick you. It's not impossible, but it's harder. Like if he was to jump forward and kick out, there's a chance that he would actually get me. So I'm not going to just completely relax, but I will pet him all back here. Okay, let him realize that this is okay if I touch him back here. He's being reactive, but he needs to just relax with this and stop being reactive about it. Okay, it's not too bad to be handled back here and touched back here and things. There we go. So that's good. We're just getting him used to his whole body being handled, his whole body being touched. Like right there, he's really reactive about being touched on both sides of his butt. So he just pinned his ears and was trying to bite me or kick out. And we need to get him over this fear, so we'll just work on it. Maybe this is all we do today, is work on his back end. And say, hey, we can touch you back here, we can touch you on both sides. Obviously, touching him on both sides is not something that he would typically experience in the wild unless a lion was jumping on him to eat him. So I understand that it's a big deal for him. But at the same time, he really needs to get over it. So we're just continuing to work with him on it until we can touch back here and he's just chilled and relaxed, doesn't really care too much. That would be the ideal scenario, okay? And over time, he'll maybe get more spooky, like if you were to come back in 2 years and grab him on the butt, I'm not saying he would be fine with it. But all I want him to do is to be okay with me handling his body. Now, if he says, I don't want you handling my body, I don't want you to touch me, I'm gonna kick you if you touch me somewhere, then I'm gonna say, okay, you know what, we're gonna touch you there until you stop kicking out, until you stop being reactive. Because it's not okay to just be disrespectful the whole time. Okay, so this is pretty good. He's relaxing a bit more with his back end being touched and things, and of course he would probably still react if I got right behind him, so we'll save that for tomorrow. But overall, he's done really well being outside today. We ran through a lot of different exercises and I think he did really well. I'm in the middle of filming an epic video series of training this wild horse. If you want to see that, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Half of you watching this aren't even subscribed yet, so go ahead and subscribe to the channel. If you've already subscribed, you can like the video. That helps it get more views. It's free to do both of those things. It doesn't cost you anything and it helps me a lot. So I appreciate it. We'll see you guys in the next video.